Let's talk about one of the most lucrative businesses that is out there that nobody is talking about. I'm saying you could make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars from this business model. In fact, I actually predict that in a couple years from now, it is absolutely going to blow up. And that is the business model of writing email newsletters, paid email newsletters. Newsletters are earning creators like this guy thousands of dollars every single time he sends out one of his newsletters. Or how about the Homebrew, which is probably the most popular newsletter that I know of, whose creators had earned over $75 million. So in this week's video, let's talk about how to actually create a newsletter business. And hello guys, if you are new to this channel, my name is Katelyn Redding and I'm a sales funnel expert. I'm going to teach you everything about how to automate your sales using funnels. We want to turn leads right into cash, and one of the ways that you can do that is through writing an email newsletter. So let's start off with what is an email newsletter. Now in this video, I actually walked you through step by step about email newsletters. I taught you everything you need to know about it. So I do suggest that you do watch that video. However, for anybody just watching this one, and I'm going to just catch you up to speed in that an email newsletter is simply a newsletter, a consistent email that you're sending out to a subscribed audience. This subscribed audience has opted in to receive your email on a consistent basis. They're literally saying, hey, send me your content. I want to read it. I want to learn about it. And more than likely, I want to implement it. Now, the really cool thing about email newsletters is they're very similar to writing blogs, except nowadays, blogs, yes, they're still important, but they serve a different purpose. People aren't like they used to searching for blogs or content or wanting to read a blog unless they're actually, researching something specific. Then maybe they'll actually read a blog, but they're not subscribing to blogs. Not anymore anyways, where an email newsletter is literally a piece of content that people are subscribing to because they want to receive the content on a regular basis. They want to learn more about it. And I've said this plenty of times before, but email still proves time and time again to be the most lucrative piece of content you could be creating because it has shown us the highest conversion rates over a consistent basis. Yet people are still so obsessed about growing their social media and focusing on creating content for social media, where I would rather see you create content for your newsletter. But here's the thing, brands are now starting to pivot because they're noticing the change and they know that the conversion rates are actually happening from a subscribed audience like in an email list. So they're looking to pay creators like yourself some big money in advertising space for them. So if by the end of this video, you haven't actually decided for yourself to start writing an email newsletter, whether you have a business now or not, then make sure to just go watch that video, because in this one, I do share a whole bunch of different ideas on what you can actually write about in an email newsletter so that you will get paid. And this video is going to teach you how to get paid from that. So let's go ahead and talk about how you can actually start your very own newsletter business from scratch and get paid. Okay, so that's a very important part, is getting paid, obviously. So the first step, just like starting any type of business, so whether you have a business or you don't, if you're watching this, it's okay. You can still have a newsletter business. You need to find a topic that you're passionate about. You need to find a niche that you're an expert in, or maybe you already have some credentials where you can share some information behind. Whatever that topic is, it could be as silly as, I don't know, horses, like things to know about horses. That literally just came randomly to my mind, but I'm serious when I'm telling you that you can write about anything, okay? And again, if you already have a niche, an area of expertise, or something has clicked in your head and said, yes, I could probably write about this on a consistent basis, go watch that video again, because I share based on what your industry is, what your niche is, what style of newsletter will perform the best. Okay, so now that you have your idea, you have to decide how often you want to send out your newsletter. The key here is it has to be consistent. Remember, your audience subscribes to this because they say, hey, send me this on a consistent basis. So pick your volume or your consistency that you choose. I highly suggest at least once a week, but things have been proven that at least once a month still performs really well when we're thinking about conversions. So from a minimum, once a month. I don't suggest anything more than once a week because that looks to be very heavy to me. That's a lot of work. However, again, based on your niche, based on your industry, you might need a higher volume or a higher frequency. Now, the next thing is you start writing. This newsletter does not have to be fancy. You just have to write. Now, I suggest that you pick out some themes or some, topics, pillars, just like you would on your social media. You would want to stay in a consistent basis so that it just gives your audience kind of like they know what they're going to be talking about. Now, as just an example on my newsletter, I tell you that I'm going to share with you marketing trends, sales strategies, and all the CEO secrets of building a business from the ground up so that you can, be a part of this entrepreneurial circle that can be lonely sometimes while being up to date on everything that's happening out there. This just gives your audience what to expect, if you will. Now that you're starting to write on a consistent basis, you want to think about obviously growing your list. So I have a video that teaches you all about list building strategies on how to actually promote your email newsletter and how to grow your subscriber base. So just go watch those videos. I'll put them up in a card below or above, and I'll also put it below. So wherever you will find it, okay? Now, growing your list is going to be something that you're going to be consistently doing on a regular basis. That part's never going to end or change. Maybe the strategy behind how you're going to grow that list will change, but overall, your newsletter is going to be something that is just going to be consistently you're handing out. Now, there are platforms like Beehive where you can sign up for and create a newsletter from there. If you don't have any other email marketing software or are literally starting from scratch, then I would actually suggest Beehive because it is literally a platform for newsletter businesses. Now, let's talk about how do you make money off of this. Remember I said earlier in the video that brands are looking for advertising space. So essentially they want to hold some space in your newsletter, whether that is little like a pop-up or a graphic on the side or like a sponsorship embedded in there, like you'll get an affiliate link or, you talk about a certain product. The same stuff that is happening on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. It's literally the same business model taken into an email newsletter instead. Now, again, if you're starting this from scratch and you're like, Katelyn, how do I even get a brand to sponsor me? Obviously, there's a million and one tactics behind how to do that, but my suggestion is to start collaborating with fellow creators even. So I would choose a creator who would have either an email list the same size as mine or similar in size. Maybe they're a little bit smaller versus yours, and you collaborate in your newsletter together, and that way you kind of like cross-pollinate in a way. So you tap into their audience as they tap into yours. So it's like benefits both. But then what I would also start to do is start nurturing relationships for brands that fit within your niche. This could be a personal brand, it could be a big brand, whatever you decide. I would start to nurture a relationship with them and, eventually grow to pitching them about taking some space or having some space in your newsletter. Remember, newsletters compared to social media usually always have higher engagement rates, higher open rates, and higher conversion rates. Brands will be drawn to that, okay? Again, I've said this over and over in this video, is that people are subscribed to your newsletter for a reason, because they want the content. Unlike social media, where you're grasping at people's attention, and once you get the attention, you're then still trying to get them to even look at it, watch your video, and God forbid, try to get them to even read some of your content. Unlike an email newsletter or any format of email, your audience is saying, send me the goods, I will read it. So you have eliminated so much work right there. And over time, once you pitch to more and more brands, you can start making more and more money. Now, there are definitely some expertise here on YouTube, on Instagram that talk to you all about, pitching to brands or brand sponsorships. I'm going to actually link probably one of my favorite creators in that space right here, Naomi. She's my girl. She will teach you all things you need to know about pitching to brands. Now, all you have to do is keep to your routine or your schedule with the emails and keeping to the theme, and then focus on continually to grow your email list. You can do this in so many different ways. Remember, I do have that video for you teaching you how to grow that list, but ultimately what you want to do is start spreading the news. Share with your friends and your family first, and then your social media. But in order for them to come across from, say, social media into the actual email newsletter, the best practice that I have seen and I have utilized in my own business, and the format or the strategy, I guess, that actually works is by teasing the content. So what I mean by this is, say I would write a post on Instagram that is talking about, a few talking points in my newsletter, and then obviously leave them hanging for more. Like, wow, that was so good. I need more information. And if they want more information, they just go over to subscribe to your newsletter, where they will get the full meal deal. This by far works the best for actually getting people to subscribe to your newsletter. The reason why, like I said earlier, that I predict this to absolutely explode over the next couple of years is that brands are recognizing how much more difficult it is to actually get somebody's attention on social media and, versus an email newsletter where you already have their attention. So it benefits the brands the most by going to the audience that is already there, that is already opted in. So they are looking and starting to move over into this type of business model versus the influencer style model. Okay, so if you want to jump on this opportunity and have one of the most lucrative businesses out there right now, then you've listened on this video. Go watch that video where I teach you how I grew my newsletter, as well as go over what you should be putting in your newsletter and the topics to be talking about. You are good to go, honey, okay? So I want to see your email newsletters out there for the world to see. And if you have one, just comment below this video and share it with me. I want to know what you all are talking about. And if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, which is a circle of high-level entrepreneurs where we are sharing our journey from building a business from the ground up and all the things that you want to do and probably don't want to do, then join my newsletter, and the link to that is just below this video. Now, just like always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you can come back and receive more videos teaching you how to turn leads into cash using funnels so you can automate the sales of your business, because we love passive income. We want to make a passive income making machine here on this channel. So with that said, guys, I will see you here next week. Bye.